Here we are playing SPQR. This is the Battle of Castulo. Right now, we had one of those situations that can happen in the great battles of history that's kind of ridiculous, or it feels that when it happens, but it's kind of also explainable. Just because time isn't really fixed in it. What happened was one leader, the prefect, sent forward his forces. He wasn't able to get a line command this turn, so he sent forward a couple of velites, and then he sent forward a couple of cohort units, and then he got the die roll of doom 9-9, and that ends the turn. Boom. One lousy leader got to do something, and that's it. So it means that the Romans some of their routed units have gotten a little further along, but the rest of the army and nothing else has changed on the field at all, because just a couple of units moved and that's it. Nobody's recovered, nothing's happened. It's not like there's been a break or anything. It's just some of the routed units have moved further. Weird situation. The Carthaginians would have been due to come in anyway, so it didn't really affect anything. Sometimes it can affect how quickly reinforcements come in games where you're counting turns like this. But it didn't happen here. It actually prevents them from coming. It made these 4 units a little faster than everyone except the routed guys. Oh well. Anyway, kind of interesting. So here on the next turn, the Romans kind of moved some more forces forward with their prefects. But then one of the prefect Aquites slammed into one of the Numidians and killed it. And that's kind of impressive in and of itself. But beyond that, got a momentum, was able to recoup a couple of his tactical quality points, didn't get the second momentum, he would have tried to slam another one. That the Carthaginians have been hesitant to roll for a trump, because after the first guy got his first momentum, they tried to trump in up here to move this force and deprive all the Romans of their chance at momentum for all the leaders except Publius himself. And they failed. And now it's kind of okay, if you roll for this guy, he's the last guy on the board, who can move this force. So that's kind of risky. And I haven't been allowing rolling for trump for guys who aren't on the board yet. I don't know if that's right or not. Kind of a gray area, but once the second army comes on, the Carthaginians will have a couple of shots to try to trump in without losing too much because of the special column rolls for this battlefield, because it's a meeting engagement. But they were much more hesitant to try and push their way in with just one leader who could do it without losing anything. All right, well, got some more Roman leaders to go. Let's see what they can do. But basically, to me, it looked like the Carthaginians probably can catch the Romans. We'll see. Well, the Roman cav back here was finally committed. One unit went forward, the other one healed up a little bit. They went forward, actually destroyed a Numidian cav, I think. One's dead for some reason. I thought that was from here, though. Oh, no, he chased him somewhere. Oh, no, he destroyed him, yeah. I don't know. I thought I destroyed one before. I don't know what happened. Anyway. He destroyed a Numidian cav, and then there was the threat of a second one coming in and disrupting things further. So finally, this guy actually trumped in. He's very good, so he had a good chance of it. He succeeded, but now everybody else, because no one else is as good as he is, I believe, is going to only get one activation, no momentum chances. Overall, that's probably okay for the Carthaginians. They don't want to press too hard. But they had the ability to, so maybe. See, the thing is, the Romans aren't in a position where they could issue a lot of line commands. They'd gone back with Publius to try to rally some units, and he's going to have to do it again, which means he'll probably let that one go. But it means that in general, he's just not going to be able, he's not in position right now to issue the line commands. He's going to try to put himself in position next turn. And once you can issue them, you can search forward, and then you might get a second line command and be able to, hit harder. Right now, he hasn't been able to get that, even the first one, so it's kind of painful for most of his leaders. Well, we'll go back to the Romans, get to move them a little bit, and then we'll see the new units coming on. That wasn't destroyed, it's routed. The Romans couldn't pursue it. They got a low roll for their pursuit. Every time, in general, you don't want to pursue. Although with this, maybe the cav pursuit rules weren't supposed to be in effect anyway, but I use them because I didn't want to prevent the infantry pursuit advantage. Anyway, the Numidian did manage to pop away. The other one was popped due to zones of control. Alright, back. Okay, well, everything finished its movement. I charged these Numidians, put them here, against the total, so that's 8 out of 28 for them breaking. Romans don't really need to break the Numidians. They broke the Iberians. If they can break the two armies, they're okay. But I feel like I made an error with the Romans. And this is sort of my natural inability to leave units behind. In this case, these Roman units, I should have left them behind, positioned Publius so that he could help issue the line commands and get his army out of there. Instead, I had a game of Monmouth, the old SPI, actually TSR I think put it out, right at the end of the S&T being under SPI. And I ran off to do something like this and committed half my army to go save one very good detachment. And since that point, it just sticks in my head. Gotta save Scott, because the guy's name was Scott. And, I'm risking the entire battle basically to save a couple of units. Good units. I don't want to lose them, but they're probably lost no matter what I do, and risking, the entire army to try to save them is just ridiculous. We got one Numidian routing here, but got a good shot at rallying him. Got the rest of the Carthaginian army on the board here. These guys streaming down. Really, the Romans are at risk here. And if they don't get some line commands, by chance, I don't think they have any ability to get out of here at all. And they can be just smashed down here, cutting Publius over here. Now he can probably slip through, but his units will not be able to. Just a dangerous situation. Actually, in part due to the terrain, the confused nature, the amount of troops lying around, and other things, the Roman cav's doing a pretty good number on the Numidians. The Numidians tend to really stand up well against the Romans, but here they were less able to pull away and swing around and get their flanking attacks. And the Roman cav straight up has the attack advantage on the Numidians. So they can even hit them front on and get that advantage. These aren't like Lancers that they have some trouble with. So they've actually, right, let me see, Roman cav versus light cav, attacker superior, wow. And that means they do double damage. And they've managed to knock a couple of them out. One of them dead. Got a couple of routed Numidians back here. It's definitely, helping take some of the pressure off. Of course, we'll get a large force, including some heavy cav and some elephants, that's probably going to break whatever screen. I mean, there aren't a lot of Roman cav there, but they're going to be driven away very quickly. And we're seeing where Publius got nothing out of coming back here. His forces have been routed and destroyed by the heavy cav coming from this direction, along with some light infantry, etc. He's got one unit here he can't do anything about, and he definitely made a mistake, because he could have moved the majority of this a little bit further. Now it's in real danger, can't get moving. He's got to get a momentum or something to move forward, and that could get trumped. He's got to try to get himself back with his leaders to move that Roman force a little bit faster, but it may be too late now. Got some pretty fast stuff coming up here, and then these guys are going to crush down through here. Got some destroyed Romans here. It was just a mistake not to try to run for the border with as much as possible, as quickly as possible. And a good part, I didn't move the phalanxes. I could have done a line command to do it, but instead I pushed forward, got some pick-off attacks with some cav, etc., knocking out some more of the Romans that are in the way. I don't think the phalanxes are going to come into play. I've got to move them into position, deploy them into a line, and then attack. It works fine if the Romans decide to make a stand, but right now it's a pursuit battle, and I don't think they're terribly helpful there. We're seeing some more Roman units dead. We've still got that command to come sliding over. It's going to try to push this way. The Romans are in a lot of trouble here. Yeah, it looks like it's almost over for the Romans. They're really getting trashed here. The Numidians came in as a final kind of blow. After rallying, because their leader is so good, they were able to still strike and hit a few more units and get some pursuits, and there's a couple of routed units out there. What's really interesting about this, in this particular scenario, and I've said this on a couple of others, I really like when you get to play out a route like this. The army's not destroyed, and I know it may not seem interesting to many people, but for me, I'm more interested in kind of the image and what's going on in the battle. And yeah, I wouldn't want to play this out every time, but it is kind of neat to do this in the SPQR game so far. Normally the army routes and you just stop playing. But here, the army isn't routed, but it's trying to leave and it's facing that pursuit. And I get to see kind of how that all plays out in a way that I wouldn't get to see in most of the scenarios. Let's take a look at our points. We got 2 Numidians went under. That's 16 more. They had better not lose another unit or else they're going to be knocked out of this battle, which to me, that's kind of almost a moral victory to crush them. 13, 20. Looks like 33 more for the Romans. So they're up to 84. They take another turn like that, or a little bit worse than that, and they're out of here. They will have lost. And that looks pretty likely. I mean, they can't stand and fight, and they can't run. And poor Publius is back here, ready to suffer the fate that he historically had. He was basically killed away from his troops. Alright, well, I'm going to keep playing this out because I think it's going to be over pretty soon, and I don't want to waste an extra upload on a short video, basically. Another very short turn. The Romans managed to build a line with the Triarii and actually chased off one of the Numidian cav, run back all the way back here. And then after the second of the really bad Roman prefects came into play, got a momentum roll, and Hanno trumped it. All fine and good. He marches in column his phalanxes, and they don't have markers on all of them, but they're marching up to try to cut off the Romans. Mainly, this was just a matter of getting that initiative, right? Then on his momentum roll, where he was looking to move the light infantry forward, he ended up getting a dire roll of doom, double nines, and that's the end of the turn. Well, the Romans are trying to make a fight of things. Not only did they set up their Triarii line to kind of slow down the advance from this flank, but they threw a velite out this way, hit the Macedonian column, or sorry, Carthaginian column. They're different colors. They're the same kind of troops as the phalanxes that the Africans have, but there's different colors to help distinguish the commands. So I'm using Macedonians for that. But they also slammed into one of the heavy cav that came with that force and drove that away. They didn't get a pursuit result on there. But now the Romans have pretty much spent their wad. All they have left is Publius, and he'll be going next. Carthaginians, we've moved these phalanxes forward up from the north, and then these ones had also moved. They trumped in again to prevent the momentum from happening and making all the Romans a little slower. That's a really, really powerful effect, because with the Roman command, they're having so much trouble getting everything active. Maybe they get a line command here and there, but until they get Publius up there, they have no guarantees of being able to even act. What they're looking at is if they can throw stuff in the way, they can take some losses, take some routes, but rally them as they fall back and then pull them off the board. It's pretty much their only hope at this point. See if it works. I don't think it will. All right, well, that's the end of the turn. We had, who's this? Massinissa and Castulo moving forward. Some of the skirmishers just kind of engaging that Triari line, just, with harassment techniques, really. Now, here's the thing. If the Romans can get their main forces off the map, they might be able to command this Triari line well enough to do a fighting withdrawal with it, which would be kind of impressive, actually, given the situation that's going on. Poor Publius, though, is stuck back here, and he's really a problem, because if he gets killed, and he's got a hard way to find his way back, he couldn't find a way back, which is why he's still there. If he can't get off the map and join there, I think he's going to be worth, I don't remember what, but like 25 points or something, which is something the Romans really can't afford if they're going to be doing a fighting withdrawal. Over here, we got the points, which is 5 for, God, I can't remember who's who. We got Mago and Hasdrubal. Hasdrubal's over here. I think this Hasdrubal is Mago. So he's going to take the 5. Luckily for the Carthaginians, the Numidians didn't take any more damage. And the Romans are going to take 5 too, which puts them to 89. It's only 30 points to go before they break. So it's going to be kind of tough, especially since they've got some routed units. This guy might survive, but he's got a low chance. This has to make its way back. It might not. These guys can interfere and destroy this, and maybe Publius. If Publius goes, I think it's over. If he can make his way back, which would be pretty much a miracle at this point, maybe hiding in the woods or something, and the Romans are almost perfect otherwise, well, maybe good things will happen. I don't know. But it looks pretty unlikely right now. Let's still fight it out. I'm going to load this one up because it's gone for a long time without... It doesn't look like it's going to end right away. You never know, though.